So welcome everybody. Welcome. We are here for our second masterclass for our Erasmus Plus project, Values in Motion. And we are here. The topic of today is collaborative animation, stop motion as an educational tool. And these masterclasses are open to the teachers who are part since the beginning of this project, teachers from Italian schools and teachers from the partner Spanish school. At the same time, these masterclasses are online, open educational resources because they are open to other educators and creators with the objective to diffuse these methodologies to all interested people. Also, the recorded version will be available on our website, on the website of the project. And we're also happy to say that the recorded version of the first masterclass is now available on our website. We are just checking a bit the subtitles, but you can already see and watch it in the next days. So you will find also the recorded version of this session in few days. We have here our trainer, Mario Cirillo. We are very happy to introduce him to you. And the chat will be open as the last time for those who may have any questions or any comment. As always, we leave at the beginning some time to the trainer to expose what he wants to share with us regarding his experiences in using stop motion in educational context. And we are going to see different kind of languages, different ways to use stop motion and to express, to help our students to express themselves. So Mario, thank you for being here. And I leave you the floor so you can also share the materials that you want to share with us. I just want to tell you that you are a professional animator, so you work as a professional with motion and with animation in general, and you are also an expert trainer and facilitator of workshop in educational context. So thank you for being with us and sharing your experience.
Thank you all for this chance to express and to show my work and my experience. So I will start presenting just a very concise PowerPoint. Okay, my name is Mario Cirillo, and I am a director, animator, producer, and educator specialized in stop motion animation. Next slide. Okay, my background. I started working in audiovisuals with Zalab, with whom I worked for approximately 8 years. And with them, I dealt with different things, such as distribution, communication, and also the creation and holding participatory video workshops. Zalab is a well-established organization that works in one of the most important in Italy in the field of social documentary and participatory video workshop, involving migrants and other people in situations of difficulties or marginalization. So what do they do and what do we do? They do workshops involving people, a group of people, giving them the chance to be the authors of their own documentaries, of their own videos. And what I carried is this approach in my experiences, my further experiences. I also worked for several years with Teatro di Roma. Teatro di Roma is an organization that gathers the main theaters in Rome, such as Teatro Argentina and Teatro India. And they also have a branch dedicated to organizing workshops with children in schools, in peripheral schools of Rome. And with them, I held 4 yearly projects of video workshop, where actually I mainly worked as a video tutor. So we did mainly live action workshops, both documentary or fiction. But in this context, I started experimenting and introducing stop motion, the language of stop motion in my workshops. We shot some sequences of pixelation, for example, or object animation or plasticine and cutout, and then somehow managed to make them interact with live action, and so we can find excerpts of stop motion in these final products that were then showed at the end of this workshops. I would like to show you maybe the first example of this experience with a short video. It's an excerpt of a 10 minutes long short film we produced within a laboratory in 1918. So I have to change the okay.
Silenzio ragazzi, Allora, gliel'avete preparata quella ricerca sulla storia di San Basilio?
No! Sì, professore.
Ah, meno male, Vittorio. Senti, che cosa hai fatto? Comincia tu.
Abbiamo preparato un video e altro materiale.
Molto bene. Allora, vediamolo.
Ale, fa parte del proiettore. Tanto tempo fa, intorno al 2090, tutta San Basilio, le persone di San Basilio sembravano diventati zombie. Forse una nuova droga chiamata SBZ, che circolava sotto forma di caramelle e che si respirava nell'aria. O forse sono tutte quelle case che hanno costruito. Continuano a costruire. Il quartiere sembra diventare un tutt'uno col carcere di Rebibbia.
Tutto ciò che si sa è che lavora con il buio e riesce a creare enormi pareti colorate nell'arco di una notte. La gente inizia a dezombizzarsi. Alcuni ragazzi prendono esempio e iniziano anche loro a disegnare e colorare il quartiere e gli ambienti della loro scuola.
Okay, so this was my first experience with integrating stop motion and live action. And I was also lucky to find a way to use pixelation directly inside, because normally pixelation is I think there is also interest specifically in this technique. It's a very interesting technique. I would like also to point some hints, some suggestions on this matter, maybe later. But it's quite difficult to find a way to put it, to create an entire short film, or to put it, to use it as footage for something else, just as a first consideration. And so let me just change again on my PowerPoint. So after this experience, I decided, after working with other organizations as a tutor and as a video maker, I decided to create my own production company. This is the Fantasmagoria Studio, founded in 2019. With a bunch of professionals in stop motion. So it's a production specialized in producing audiovisuals in animation and in stop motion. And so we produce short films, we work in commercials, and as an executive producer for other companies, for other productions, alongside with the educational area that I still wanted to bring inside this new production, this new experience. And so for several years, we've been working and collaborating with other associations and realities in Italy, mainly in Italy. For example, with Zalab again, with whom we maintained a connection. And we also worked with the Internazionale Kids, for example, with the Sulmona Film Festival. And so we held many different stop motion labs all around Italy, but mainly in Rome, collaborating with Arte del Contatto, which is a very important organization in Rome, working in the animation, video, photography in a multidisciplinary approach, funded by Cinema per la Scuola and other Erasmus and other fundings specific for cinema and for audiovisuals in schools. So this is more or less my experience, and let me just go to the next slide. What I would like to just say that participatory video has been from the beginning.
Mario, I think we are seeing the first slide. I'm seeing still the background and foundations.
Really?
Okay, now it's participatory video. Okay.
Okay, sorry, there must be some delay in the.
Okay.
But how was the experience with the short film? Did you see it
I was
smoothly?
It was
Did it work?
Yes.
Because of course, especially with the stop motion, if you don't have the smoothness, you just see images. You don't have the experience of the animation. Okay. So I just wanted to point to explain a little bit in my experience what participatory video means. It's a technique. It's an approach that works involving a group of people, normally with some specific problems or experiences or contexts that need to be explained, need to be expressed. Normally people that, for example, as migrants or people in marginalized contexts that wouldn't have the chance to express themselves otherwise. So through the participatory video, they are given all the tools to express themselves through video and to become authors themselves. And then through this method, through this path, they can also somehow cope with their experience, maybe overcome it, and maybe try to find also some dialogue with the community, with the institutions, and maybe some change. So it can be the starting point of a change with the matters, with the problems they are facing. So there is also a therapeutic value that I would say is most valuable in participatory video approach. Of course, this means that you have to deal also with the conflict. And in my experience, for example, working in schools, even though we are working very often in a shelter, in a place where normally children find themselves in the best situation, in the best context to express themselves, to dialogue, to have the best, the best opportunities. Very often, these schools are in contexts of extreme difficulty in terms of social or familiar background. So. Sometimes this can also bring to conflict, and you have to be ready also to deal with this and to face it and to avoid distress to those participating to the.
Sono io bloccata? Vedo bloccato?
No, vediamo bloccato.
No, è lui che è bloccato.
Okay. Yeah, he has freezed a bit.
It's freezing.
Okay.
Sorry?
No, ti eri frizzato un attimo. Ok. We are back.
Okay.
Okay. No, we can
so
go on. We can go on.
Did you lose something?
No, it's okay. We can go on. We can go on.
Okay, so I was telling that the first experience can be identified as Colin Doe's workshop in the Fogos Island in Canada, where he involved the population of this island that was totally abandoned by the central government of Canada, and through these workshops and then the screenings all around the island and the debate that created this inside and outside the island, not only the community could find a new way of confronting with its own problem, but also the central government started a new way of relating with the community and with the island. So it had also a political and not only psychological or social value, this experience. Since then, social participatory video has been the method used for the creation of documentary films and experiences facing many topics such as racism, migration, severe illness, gender disequality. So it has been a very useful toolkit for many generations of filmmakers and authors and also researchers. And so I think that Zalab in Italy, for example, can be taken as a good example for if you want to deepen your knowledge in this matter. When I started working with them, they had released this documentary film, Come un uomo sulla terra. That was the final the product of a workshop involving migrants from Africa, and one of them, Dagmawi Mera, actually became the co-author of this documentary, and it created a lot of debate in Italy, and the other very important thing of this experience is that Dagmawi now is a well-known documentary filmmaker. So this experience was for him the starting point of a new life, a new career. Of course, working, and now I will go to next slide. Working in schools and with children, of course, is something totally different, and also bringing the method of participatory video in stop motion is a challenge, because of course video making and animation are totally different. And so what I try to do is to take the fundamentals of the method. So this means creating, giving the participants all the, involving them as much as I could, as much as I can in the whole process from the beginning, and giving them also very clearly the aim and what we are heading to. So what we are really trying to do. So not just imposing them from above an experience of even if it's very interesting and fascinating, but making them as much as I can aware of what they're doing and what they can do with this workshop. The first thing I would consider is that what I took also from Zalab is another very important thing. Not only the process is important in participatory video workshops, but also the output. Many organizations that work in this field focus mainly on the process of giving these people, these participants, the tools to express their to transform their stories into narration. But very often there is a lacking in giving attention to the output, because of course it is important also that what is produced by this group can be something universal, can be something that can be used as an advocacy tool, for example, for screenings, for being seen by people that are totally far from the context where these videos were produced. This is the only way to make this this experience to survive after the end of the workshop. So I'm very interested also in giving the tools to do something at a high qualitative standard to children involved in the workshops, and this is also empowerment for them, because at the end they also have the idea of having done something that somehow empowered their skills, their possibilities, and maybe gave them some tools for working by themselves or in the future, or maybe choosing their future. What else? I think that, for example, the first thing is that children, of course, very often have more difficulties to verbalize and to transform their experiences, their traumas or whatever comes from their background into words. So I start normally by making them do something, by something very practical. So before talking about stories that can be transformed into films, I prefer to give them the tools with which we will work, such as the camera, the lenses, and or the tablets and all the basics, and giving them trust also, and showing them that they are going to use something that is fragile, that is but that is also very powerful, that can be used to reach something. And so in many years of experience, I never had my equipment damaged by this approach. And in stop motion, what I do is I give them immediately the very basics of animation. I give them the tablet or what we were going to use to take pictures, and the first lesson, let's call it lesson, the first meeting will be animating freely, without any finding things available in the classroom or where we are working, and inventing stories that just come from their hands, not from thinking or somehow programming or projecting anything. And these stories very often are very, very powerful, very, very creative and unexpected. And I would say that this is a little bit can be compared to the idea of the grammatica della fantasia that was also mentioned in the last meeting, in the last masterclass, but even at a deeper level, because we are not giving or suggesting words or anything. It's just what they have. It's just what comes from doing. Okay, so this is the first experience I want them to have with the lab, and so.
Di nuovo bloccato.
Yeah, it's a bit freezed. Mario?
A high level of a high standard, but just a second, because I have to change the. Yes, is it working?
Yes, with no sound, only the video.
With no sound, yes. No, there's no sound in this one. As you can see, they just took the apples that were supposed to be their brunch, their snack. Here they used the toys that I asked them to bring, and interacting with each other's toy. And we just told them, talk about your fears here. Again with toys. Here again we are seeing their fears. Let me just stop it to explain it better. After the first this first session, they see what they did. They see their output, and so the request of a higher quality comes from seeing what they've done. So what I try to what I see and what I see that works is that if they see that the quality can be improved, the request comes from themselves of further tools, of more information, more knowledge, and so this is also an interesting approach of self-empowerment, of not imposed knowledge. In this second session, we worked with the fears. Each one gave form and image to his or her own fear, and then we made them interact with each other, like the fears of two children were fighting or interacting with each other. And that's also interesting because they lost somehow their fearness. So we have a devil and a dog. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm having some. Okay. And here we have the brother of a child and a ghost. And then they meet and they blink. And here again, there is a devil and another creature playing together. Let me see what's next. Here are some experiences, some experimentations with the object and with pixelation. As you can see, I know we work with simple patterns and simple things that allow them not to stay in difficult positions, and that's also something to consider. here we worked really with what we had in the classroom. Pencils, that's what I asked them to do. Take what you think can be the character or the thing that you want to animate. Working with pixelation is also interesting if mixed with, for example, with the green screen, so that they can fly and find themselves in different places. So now we are already seeing something more complex. They are starting to get confident with animation, with the principles of animation, with the transformation, with the squash and stretch, you know, all this. I don't know if you already have some basics of animation. So I try to transform them immediately in something useful. Okay, let me just come back to us. Okay. Is there are there any questions for now?
Yeah, for any question you can write in the chat or in this moment.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
open the meet.
I lost my presentation. It looks like it's black. I don't know why. Let me just check if I can reopen it. Okay. No, it's not working. Share. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have to find the right page. Another thing, yes, of course, pixelation and green screen. So pixelation is a very interesting technique. The main problems working with this technique are that if you're working with a group of people, with a group of children, it's very difficult to have them stay in the right position altogether. So it would be better to work, for example, putting them on a line so that they are, so their hands and their feet and their body are somehow linked to the other, so that they cannot move too much. Because of course, if one shifts or changes position, then you have to reshoot the picture. So it's much more complex if a group of people is involved. Another complex thing is light. As you could see in a couple of these exercises, light was changing a lot during this this session. It can also be something that can give sort of I don't know, style to the sequence. But if you want to have a perfect output, it would be better to work in a place where light is. That's in general for stop motion, but it's more difficult, of course, if you're working with pixelation in a place where light is controlled, is totally controlled. You can work with green screen, you can work with reverse action. For example, if you saw in the sequence of the dead zombization in the short film I showed before, actually the kid was painted. We did some face painting, but we shot it. We showed it on reverse, so it's like if the paint goes off from his face. And yeah, it's really interesting, but it's really difficult then to use it inside something more complex. That's the main thing I would say about pixelation. I don't know if you have further questions, or I don't know, specific questions regarding this technique. Going further, stop motion in general is a very complex, very slow technique, and so organizing a workshop entirely in stop motion and expecting it to produce a short film is something very complex to be done. So normally what we do is we work with mixed media. So very often, for example, with Arte del Contatto, we collaborate as a stop motion unit in a wider project where other schools or classes are working with live action or with storytelling. So they give us some requests, for example, for titles or for bumpers, for transitions, for elements that can enhance or give more power to some sequences in live action. So in this way, we are going to produce something that will be part of something bigger, something mixed. Or if we work on a single workshop, we try to divide our time and our resources between live action and stop motion. But in any case, what we try to do is always create small sequences that can, in any case, have their own life, even if they are not used as part of something else. And I will show you how now. I will just show you a couple of other short sequences. We were here. Okay. So, for example, in this case, it was there was another workshop in live action, a documentary workshop, working on the territory of the neighborhood around the school. They were going to do a tour around the neighborhood and visit the main places. It's a neighborhood that is surrounded by highway and the railway. So it has its complexity. It's not really peripheral, but it's very complex. It's a very complex context in Rome. And so we gave the bumpers or the introductions, the intertitles somehow to each section of this path, of this idea of let me just show you. So, oh, sorry. We'll start again. So we have a map, and then we see the lines heading to the first place. This is a parking that used to be that was built, but then blocked because they found some catacombs. Then you have the cinema that was a very important place of the neighborhood. As you can see, we show a film that is showing the neighborhood. It's a film from Pasolini that was shot in this area. And what happens is that the roof flies away and we see the stars and it becomes an arena. That's because the cinema actually is the roof fell down and the cinema is abandoned now. So the children imagined that it could still be used as an arena. Then we move to a third place. It's an area where the bombing during the Second World War destroyed everything and then was rebuilt. And then we have a murales with dedicated to a Kurdi fighter, very important monument in the area. And then this artificial lake, they were building a shopping mall, and they broke some pipes, and finally they found this hole transformed into a lake. That's the these are examples of words used as bumpers or as intertitles for a bigger project talking about memory, past, and this is another experiment made in Ponte di Nona. It's a very it's at the very eastern part of Rome, the outskirts of Rome. The children used this technique that we borrowed from this, I don't know if you saw it, the Picasso mystery, the Mystère Picasso. It's a documentary film showing Picasso drawing in stop motion its masterpieces. And so we see children doing the same. And we wanted to see also their hands. So I think it also gives some further interest into the process and to what we're seeing. I'm sorry, we're not hearing the audio here because we had some audio.
Okay, now we can hear the audio.
Okay, sorry, but it was the bumblebee fly. And again, using plasticine and creating letters and using substitution for giving them life. Okay, so let's go further. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is also that we also realized some couple of projects where we were able to work just with one classroom and with one class group and creating a whole short film from one workshop. This is an experience we did again in Ponte di Nona with a fourth grade primary school. What I would like to point in this case.
Okay, it's another freeze moment. Let's hope that again in a couple of seconds we will be back. And
in a situation where there are dynamics very that we don't know between children, between in terms of curriculum and in terms of relationship between the teachers and the children and within the teachers. And very often the teachers perceive our presence as a reduction of their time dedicated to learning and to curriculum learning. So what we try to do is to avoid the resistance that very often we faced by involving the teachers in the activities. For example, in the first project we saw, as you could see at the end, there were some images that could be somehow compared to a storyboard shown at the end credits. And these were done during the class, during the art hours, so outside the hours of the workshop. And this is also very important, to create a bond, to create a relationship with the school, not only with the children during the hours of the workshop, but to involve other teachers, try to see if there can be some links between what they are doing, what they're going to do, and what we are going to do. So we worked with art teachers, we worked with, for example, in this workshop we did in Ponte di Nona, with a primary school, we worked especially with the script in collaboration with the teacher. During the Italian hours, outside the workshop hours, they worked on the script together, and it was part of their curricular experience at the end. So also the teacher were involved. And as you could see, very often I also asked the teachers to be to participate also as characters in the short film. So let me show you this. This is a short version of a longer short film we shot 2 years ago. Okay.
The origami folding the magic.
Do you know what an origami is?
The Chinese invented them
And transform them in a real form of art. It becomes an origami by folding a piece of paper. You are so wise, and you fold the paper, and a shape will come out. Origami make you feel as a real magician. That will make the magic come true.
Okay. So, how did it work? We worked with this class group. It was a nine meetings. Totally, we met 9 times, if I remember well, and we asked them to give us some topics, maybe coming from their curricular experience, the thing that they were studying in that moment. And so we had 3 different possibilities. The first was the wheel. They had been studying the wheel, the history of wheel, and so we imagined together a stop-motion sequence from the rolling stone to the most modern wheels. From the beginning, they wanted to do something educational, sort of an explanation of what they studied and what they knew. The second possibility was a biology topic. They had studied mitosis and meiosis, all these monocellular processes. And we could reproduce them with plasticine, so that was also a chance. And then we had this third possibility, the origamis. They had they had done this workshop with the teachers. They studied the history of origami. They also realized, did their own origamis. So we had a bunch of already done origamis that could be used. And at the end, they chose, so that's also part of the participatory video method, voting, having more stories, having more possibilities, and then choosing by a democratic process, with a democratic process, which one to develop. And so they chose this one, and it was interesting because and it was also easier because they already had a lot of stuff ready to be animated. And then the guys divided into groups, working on specific areas of the storytelling, and wrote their own texts and did their own casting, and they did it outside the workshop. So they arrived already with the actors chosen for the specific roles. And they worked on the script during the Italian lessons. So we extended the workshops, and in the workshop this way we gained time for such a complex process and experience through the collaboration with the teachers. I also try not to work alone. So not only the collaboration of the teachers, but working always alongside with the partners. For example, in the first part of this workshop, I worked alongside with a young screenwriter that gave the students the basics of storytelling, the Vogel's journey of the hero, the 3 acts, all the elements to have how a script is written, you know, the form and everything. And in the second part, I involved a stop motion animator that was also experienced with the live action shooting, and this allowed us also to work in two groups in different areas, because also working with the stop motion asks for calm, for patience, for a protected environment, no disturbance. So with a big group as a class group, this can be hardly found if you don't find a way to organize it in the smaller groups. And we left the live action shooting as the last day of the workshop, in order to be sure that we had all we needed of the stop motion part, and in case integrating the live action with things that we couldn't manage to realize in stop motion. So this is more or less the way we did this specific workshop. So I would like to show you one other project. This is the latest project I collaborated to. No, let me just change of slide. This is a workshop that was financed by CI and was realized in the late months of 2025. It was a multi-class project involving primary school from the 3rd to the 5th grade, and we divided. So we had 2, 4, 5, 6 class groups involved and 6 tutors. So we had to find a way to take all the experience we already had and organize the whole experience and the whole system of workshops in a way that could lead to a final product that could work, that could be unique, united together with mixing stop motion and live action. In this case, we chose the documentary film idea, and we divided the work between the third and the fourth year that were involved in stop motion and Foley, and the fifth year that were involved in script writing and live action shooting. The first thing we did was to set up these multiple workshops in a way that the synchronization of the activities would allow each one to have his or her contents or tasks already ready in time. So we started with the script workshop, and when more or less the script was ready, we started also the stop motion workshops, so that they had some materials coming from the script to start with. And so the idea was to ask them to collect some stories coming from their background, from their families, from the neighborhood. In this case, we are in the extreme west of Rome, and so we had 4 or 5 interesting stories that came out. One that was the most voted one was the story of a grandfather, the grandfather of a girl that used to collect stones. So he loved to find stones and to collect them because of their shape, of their color, and he also gave some specific meaning to these stones. So starting from this story, we used it as a sort of a meta story that allowed us to put all the other stories coming from the stones. Each stone could represent, could give the idea of another story. For example, this stone looks like a bomb. This story looks like, this stones looks like I don't know, a cake, and it remembers when I was with my family doing cakes. And so we had a couple of other stories that were particularly voted and then chosen to be inserted in this workshop. So I will show you this. It's always an excerpt. It's not the entire short film that is more than 14 minutes long. Sorry. It's starting, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Un sasso! Oh. Io ne ho trovato uno enorme.
Io ho uno piccolo.
Guarda quanti ce ne stanno, a ricreazione torniamo con gli altri e ce li prendiamo tutti.
E che ci facciamo?
Ce li portiamo su in biblioteca e li mettiamo sul tavolo. Con mio nonno lo facevamo sempre. Ogni volta che mi portava al parco cercavamo quelli più belli e li portavamo a casa. Li mettevamo sul tavolo e lui si inventava una storia diversa per ogni sasso.
Ci sta, dai, diciamolo agli altri e proviamo anche noi.
hai trovato?
In cambio dopo ti far vedere i tuoi.
So we lost a couple of subtitles.
Lo so fare. Sembra un fagiolo. Io quello so fare, Gabriele.
Sai Sofì, lo sai che questa cosa che stiamo facendo sembra un impasto di biscotti?
Sapete che questo biscotto mi ricorda molto che quando ero piccola ero andata a casa della mia nonna e avevamo preparato un impasto simile a questo. E in pratica avevamo fatto tutti i biscotti al cacao e visto per quanto erano buoni si sentiva quel profumino. I miei fratelli andarono sotto il tavolo e si rubavano tutti i biscotti, anzi quasi tutti, perché io li beccavo e invece nonna faceva finta che non li beccava. A un certo punto arrivò mia zia con i miei cugini. Mia zia metteva i balli di gruppo. A un certo punto tutti i miei cugini, i miei fratelli, mia madre e mia zia ballavano tutti. E a un certo punto io ho detto che era pronto e abbiamo iniziato a mangiare e poi dopo, felici e contenti, siamo tornati a casa.
Bella storia.
Questo sasso mi ricorda tanto una bomba.
Una bomba?
Come una bomba? Perché il mio bisnonno ha perso la vista per colpa di una bomba. Perché visto che quando lui era piccolo era finita la guerra, lui andò a Villa Panfili e sotto una scatola trovò una bomba e perse la vista e anche il suo migliore amico.
Come si chiamava il tuo bisnonno?
Il mio bisnonno si chiamava Carlo Alberto e quando, visto che i genitori non avevano delle cure per lui, lo portarono in un collegio dove riuscì a leggere con le lettere a rilievo. E poi, visto che gli piaceva tanto suonare il pianoforte, da grande diventò un pianista e incontrò la sua fidanzata che diventò anche la moglie, che è la mia bisnonna Franca.
Bellissimo, con le sfumature rosa e mi ha detto che questo qua apparteneva a una principessa bellissima e poi dentro questo sasso abbiamo due fare. In alto di questo castello abbiamo ragazzini che stavano bullizzando un granchio. I nonni li cacciarono. Dopo un po' presero il granchio in mano e andarono dal veterinario in macchina.
Okay.
Very nice.
Brilliant.
Short.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Yes, and so working together is also, it was collective also in terms of tutors, you know, so that's also an interesting experience, creating a group of people that are working with different languages. And in this case, as for example, in other cases, the editing was done by one of the tutors. And it's something I would like also to give some extra information. yes, in the ideal world, also the post-production would be part of the participatory experience, but dealing with the lack of time and resources, we very hardly are able to go beyond just you know, the explanation of how it works. So showing children a timeline and how the editing is done, but involving them in the editing process, it's quite complex and would ask for a specific workshop that we are not very often, nearly always able to do. And it also would be complex to do with a group of people, because of course editing is also something very, it's a very solitary activity, I would say. I would like to see again also some other examples of how, because I previously mentioned the thing that it's true that we are working very often in collaboration with live action, but we are also trying to create contents that can also be considered by themselves as complete and self-standing product. So I will show you a couple of examples in this case. This is it. Oh no, sorry. This is not it. You already saw it. Maybe it's this one. Yes.
Come ti chiami?
Valerie,
Quale oggetto hai portato?
una lampada a forma di cuore,
Perché lo hai portato?
perché è un oggetto che da piccola per me significava tanto,
E come pensi di animarlo?
facendolo pulsare.
Come ti chiami?
Edoardo,
Quale oggetto hai portato?
le foto,
Perché lo hai portato?
perché mi ricordano i miei giorni,
E come pensi di animarlo?
con il volo delle foto.
Come ti chiami?
Ciao, mi chiamo Ridwan.
Quale oggetto hai portato?
Ho portato Lego
Perché lo hai portato?
perché nell'infanzia mi piaceva così tanto, quindi ho portato adesso.
E come pensi di animarlo?
Quindi ancora non lo so. Mio amico Samuele e io stiamo facendo le idee.
Penso di fare
This is Samuele.
due macchine o oggetti, treno e un aereo che si scontrano per fare una battaglia.
Come ti chiami?
Rodaina,
Quale oggetto hai portato?
le cuffie per riscaldare le orecchie.
Perché lo hai portato?
Perché da bambina ero molto relegata e lo portavo sempre in giro con me.
E come pensi di animarlo?
Farlo camminare, saltellando e varie cose.
Come ti chiami?
Lorenzo del Signore,
Quale oggetto hai portato?
le scarpette da Ritap,
Perché lo hai portato?
perché è un ricordo dell'infanzia,
E come pensi di animarlo?
facendo una camminata di Michael Jackson.
Okay. So in this case, it was interesting also to interview them and to ask them why and in which way they were going to do their animation. So it was an extra possibility to give this sequence that by itself wouldn't have any meaning to be explained by their own voice. So they interviewed each other, and it was very, very interesting. Or we used poetry, as in this case. We were asked them to talk about their fears and to visualize them and create short stories with plasticine, with claymation, and then composing a little poem that could be sort of a soundtrack of this sequence.
Matilde, la paura dell'altezza non è mica una sciocchezza, ve lo dice questa ragazza che dalla paura è diventata pazza.
Nathan della vecchia. Era sera nella grotta. Pensava a Riccardo per l'ultima volta, dove morì annegato. È così che nessuno nella grotta è più andato.
Eva, nel mare profondo, dispersa nel mondo, tra poco sprofondo, mi rilasso e penso se tutto questo ha un senso, ma nell'acqua più scura è rimasta la mia paura.
Vanessa, una ragazza molto tranquilla, si incamminava nella sua strada, ma all'improvviso la paura le si dipinse sul viso. Tutto ad un tratto si ritrovò rinchiusa in un rinfratto. Davanti alla sua paura non era più così sicura.
Mi chiamo Rodaina. Nel campo di grano la paura sale piano, io la prendo per mano e vado lontano. Non mi importa, ho del coraggio di scorta e con faccia sicura sconfiggo la paura.
Mi chiamo Iba. I vermi schifosi si muovono gioiosi, ma sono sicura che a me fanno paura. Scappo lontano, ma loro mi seguono piano.
I love this one.
Ilaria. Il piccione puzzone cammina a trionfo col petto gonfio. Io ne sono sicura, lo temo.
It's blocked.
Ho paura, ma io lo ignoro e continuo col mio lavoro.
Kendra. Una bambina dentro un bosco sentì un rumore losco. Guardando verso il basso, proprio sopra un sasso, c'era un ragno nero, il suo incubo più vero. Dalla paura era invasa, così scappò dentro casa.
Valerie.
Vai.
Gigi Ragnetto, mi scende sul letto, sento un colpo sul petto, mi fa troppo effetto, me ne scappo veloce da quel ragno feroce.
And so this is the last example of integrating stop motion with other, so with the podcasts, so with the poetry, in this case with music. In this project, we collaborated with a well-known toy constructor. His name is Roberto Papetti. He's a representative of the so-called Scuola Emiliana. It's a movement in education that was developed during the 60s and the 70s in Emilia-Romagna, and it was sort of avant-garde in terms of education and the ways of dealing with children. And he teaches children how to build their own toys using reusable things, any very simple tools. And he also composed this song called I Pacifici, the Peacefuls. The Peacefuls are a sort of army of soldiers that do not fight, but they don't do war, they do peace. They're unlike normal soldiers, they are all the same in terms of dimensions and of shape, but they are different in terms of colors of clothes, and so we provided the children these small shapes made of paper, and each one colored it in a different way, personal way, putting little messages or specific things and details. And then they animated it, and we used the song as a soundtrack for this experimentation. And they tried every possible use of animation in using these small characters. They also used comics, clouds to give their idea of being Pacific, of being peaceful. I am peaceful when I'm with my family, when I do something helping people in need, etc., etc. So this was my last example, because I think if you want, I can show you all the
it's very
sequences.
nice if you can read some of these comics, because I watched it before, and it's very interesting that they reflected about when I feel peaceful. So if you can just read some examples, yeah, like
I feel peaceful when I'm with Diletta. I feel peaceful when I'm with my
mainly with their friends. And
this one, it's when they're with their friends in this case. Let's see other. Okay, I am peaceful when I'm with my family and my friends. I'm peaceful when I'm with my best friend. That makes me feel good. I am peaceful when I'm with my family and with my.
Yeah, and there was another one. Now it's freezed. When I especially wanted to underline, I am peaceful when I do something, when I share my gift with other people, when I feel that I am at service and helpful with other people.
Soccer with other people at school, and I'm peaceful when I'm with my family and my best friend, when I can stay with my best friend. So they mainly talking about relationships and family, and but there is a lot of.
And there was one that was saying I'm peaceful also when I'm useful. I remember one regarding this.
When one person did wrong, but I encourage her or him to do better. That's also interesting. Mia famiglia.
Yeah, it's okay. It was just to summarize it, the work that I did. So they.
So this one is very interesting. When dots.
It leads to the other people's imagination.
Yeah, Salam. This is also interesting. And when I played Fortnite,
when I listen to music,
exactly. So this is also a very interesting experiment we did. So it's also interesting to see that, of course, each workshop is different. It depends on the time we have. In this specific one, we didn't have more than one session with these children, so we had to find a way of having something that could work by itself at the first experience. Yeah, so let me go back here, and I don't know if I still have something to show here. Okay. Again, it doesn't work, the PowerPoint. I don't know why. There's something wrong with my PC. But yeah, so let me just see if there is something I'm missing.
Yeah, we're going toward the end of the masterclass.
Yeah.
So if you have any comment or question that you would like to share, every comment or questions are welcome. I wanted to summarize a bit that it was very interesting to see these ways to do an interdisciplinary work, and the way in which we saw examples on how to integrate different kind of possibilities. For example, mixing live action with stop motion, especially using stop motion to talk about the past. And going back to the examples using the stones, it seems very interesting to use these metaphors. So to inspire imagination. So when you see different shapes of stones, what can these tell you? What does this remind you? So it was a very creative work, the fact to associate to different shape of stones, some memories, and to guide some storytelling. And some of them told something more funnier, but some of them recalled very moving stories, very moving moments of their life or the lives of some family member. And so it's important to remember the infinite possibilities that we have if we want to integrate stop motion with other kinds of video storytelling. And we also saw before pixelation, just to remember, pixelation is the use of human bodies, but with animation technique. So when we ask children to mainly stay still, and we take the picture, then they move a bit and we take the picture, then they move a bit and we take the picture. And there was one moment in which we saw a scene in which the students were in a row and were in front of a door, and then they were moving forward, and we created the effect of the children entering into the door. So we saw this magic effect of the children passing through the door. And there was also a moment we watched in which there was a student mentioning it. He said, with stop motion, with animation, I can do magic. And this is usually what students feel when they do animation and stop motion, that they can create magic, that they can show magic on the screen.
Yes, and for this reason, pixelation is particularly effective because it gives magic to themselves, so they see themselves doing magical things. It's really the basics of the mystery of cinema from the Méliès era. So it's really, yeah.
Yes. And also at the end, you mentioned some poems that the children wrote. And there were moments in which they were speaking about their feelings, their fears. And it was a way not to to allow them to speak about what they're feeling without the need to show themselves. So it's also a possibility, because there are students who love to be on the screen, to show themselves and to act, let's say. But there are other moments, other contexts in which maybe they want to speak about their feelings and create a poem or just talk about themselves through a picture or through the toys of their childhood, or creating very nice poems with rhymes. So this was another very interesting example.
Yes, yeah, for this reason I love animation, because it doesn't give, it lowers a little bit the protagonism of, you know, this dynamics that can be created in classrooms where people, maybe children, want to be the main characters, or like, you know, the actors syndrome, that is not really something we are searching for. We're searching for a collaboration with all of them, and trying to take out the collaboration and you know, the stories of each of them. And you also remember me that, for example, in the first workshop, I showed you the one with Teatro di Roma. You could also hear some very strange and not really wonderful music at the end, with the credits, with the end credits, and that was the only way to make one of them.
We lost it a bit. Let's see. Mario, we can't hear you. Okay, Mario, now you're back.
Yes. And at the end, I had this small session with him in a room with a piano, and I recorded him improvising with the piano. And that's so. At the end, I also managed to have him collaborating to the workshop. So animation helps also in this case, because also the Foley, as you could hear in the last workshop we did, all the sounds were recorded by children, and that was very funny, and they had a lot of fun doing it. And so there are many ways to involve them without creating dynamics where the shy guys are backwards, and you know, the more active take the square. Yeah,
exactly. And now that you're talking about the sound, I take advantage to launch our next masterclass that also will be with our colleague Mario Stefano Barone. The date would be next Wednesday, so the 25th of February, same time, always 5 p.m. And we will talk about sound design, the infinite possibilities of creating the sound effect for our stop motion, and how to implement and integrate storytelling through the sound. The trainer will also do it live with us, so he's going to show us the different steps of the creation of the sound line and how to edit it with the video. And Foley, the word that Mario was mentioning, is this act of recording sounds in a creative way, in a live way. Also some ways that we can do with students. Of course, we are also going to see different databases where we can find online sounds that are already recorded, but we always want to promote the creative possibility of students to play and record the sounds themselves. Because we always want to promote creativity. And does anybody have any question also regarding a project that you are working on? This is a very nice possibility to, if you want any input. In the meanwhile, I really want to thank Mario for your contribution, for your intervention, because we received many input, and we have the recording of this session, so we can also watch again the different parts. Also, remember that being this recording session on the website, you can also watch them with your students at school whenever you want to take any inspiration, and feel free to diffuse this link by the website to any other educators or interested person that you may know, so that this storytelling creation goes on and on and on. Well, for now, I can say that if there are no questions, we can close now the... Okay, Silvia, yes.
Yes. I've got an observation and 2 questions. My observation is that I noticed that sometimes the characters or the muñecos, as we learn in Spanish, are very simple. For example, children's pictures. But at the same time, the story anyway is deep and is effective. So I think that we don't need to create characters or scenarios very complicated. But also the simplicity can be effective. And this is the observation. About the questions. The first is very simple, where we can look to see again your works, also with our students. And the second question is, how long does it take to realize a short stop motion about you, as you think, from the collective ideation to the post-production phase?
I just answered the first question, Mario. So for everybody to know, the recording of this session will be online in the next days. So everything that you watched during this session, we are really happy if you share it with your children. That's why we asked to Mario to show and to screen his works so they can be here available for you. So this, I wanted to answer to this part.
Thank you.
Yes, but I just showed some sequences from longer products. So if you're interested in seeing more, I would say just write to me, because they are not all available. It depends on the stage of the project. For example, the last one with the Stones was presented just a couple of weeks ago, and is still not available online. So just write me at the, I don't know if you still can see the last slide. Address it to me, Mario, asking for the links for seeing all the. And some of the sequences I showed are part of something that is still ongoing. For example, the sequences with the map. The editing is still not finished, but I can show you. I can send you the private link to this. I just put them all together in a video that can be seen privately. So I will do it for sure if you write me this address. And as for the time needed to complete a stop motion, only stop motion. You're talking about entirely stop motion short film involving students or involving children, right? This was the question.
Yes.
That is a very interesting question. We did. We have just one experience of a laboratory, a workshop involving children that led to a short film of 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, and this workshop was, I think, it was not inside a school. It was a private workshop, and it took at least 24 sessions with these children, and of a couple of hours each. So long time, much longer than normally available for us to work with in schools. So that's why we chose the mixed media approach.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because the one you mentioned was fully stop motion. The mixed media allow the possibility to tell something through other media. And so this can help us to complete the transmission of a message in a shorter time, which is the time available for us at school. Thank you.
So, for example, the one with the origami, that is 4 minutes long short film, took 9 sessions of 2 hours each in school, plus the post-production activity that took I don't know how long. I don't remember anymore, because when I get in these activities, I lose the awareness of time, and so I will ask the editor of the last our last product.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And also, on the website of this project, Values in Motion, we have just created a part that is called Educational Resources. And the idea is to publish there not only the video capsules that we are going to create as training materials, the master classes, the materials that are going to be created by trainers, for example, these slides that Mario created, but also we can create there a list of examples of stop motion that were useful. So in case, Mario, we can also speak about it and see if some of these examples we can put it there as useful resources for all those interested to animation in educational context. We can talk about it. And for all the teachers involved in the project, it's important that, of course, that we find ways that are effective, because consider that the teachers involved in the project are going to work during their lesson time. So it's very important to find the interdisciplinary links. At the beginning, you mentioned some of them. For example, the hours dedicated to art, the hours dedicated to music, the hour dedicated to languages, to create the subtitles or the voiceover. And so this is really magic what we are going to do to find the message that we want to transmit, maybe in a multidisciplinary mixed media way, and in connection teachers of different subjects. This would be a way to get to do it with the time of the mornings that there is at school. Well, thank you very much. I just ask a few minutes if some of the teachers of the project can stay just to comment among us. I invite you, if you can stay. I'm going to stop the recording now and thank again all you for participating, all the people participating, and Mario, and see you officially to the third session on sound design next Wednesday, the 25th. You're going to receive the link, and you're invited to, when we prepare the invitation, to invite other teachers and contacts that may be interested. Thank you very much to everybody, and I stop the recording.